Hello and welcome to the Comic Conspiracy Podcast, episode 444 for the week of, what the hell is this? March 10th, 2020. My name is Ryan Higgins. Who's here with me this week?
Brock Sager.
Kevin Sharp.
And Charlie.
It's back. It's back. You have had a glorious almost month without those antics.
I've touched my eyes more in the last 30 seconds that Toby's here than I have in the last week and a half.
You're welcome.
So, yeah. That's Toby, by the way, not Kevin Sharp. I actually thought Kevin made beer tonight, but I guess not. We have some stuff to talk about. It's comic books, lots of questions. Toby,
Yeah.
you've not been here for a while.
Yeah.
It's not comic book related, but I want to hear about your trip.
Oh. Well, I went to the UK, and then I went from the UK to Germany, and then from Germany back to the UK, and then eventually I tried to get back into the country, and then for some reason he had to let the coronavirus out, and everybody's completely different since I gotten back. This is like what's his face? Rick Grimes? When he wakes
up in the hospital.
Yeah, in the hospital, and the whole world is completely different than what he remembered it to be.
Hey, wait, are you yellow? Yeah, now try that again. There you go. Now
What?
try.
It's same old Ryan.
It picked you up.
Same old
It picked you
Ryan.
up. You're good.
Yeah.
Keep going.
No, but no. I felt like Rick Grimes. Like I left the world in one way, and I came to it completely different. Completely different. I don't understand why there's no toilet papers anymore. That there's no bottled waters anywhere except for 7-Elevens and stuff. But yeah. Different world, man. What are people doing with the toilet paper? I don't understand this one.
Shitting constantly. I don't. No idea.
Afraid,
No, it's just a typical hysteria where people are trying to stock up in case
they have to poop
in case they don't want to leave their house for
a long time. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. I just feel like
That's why
was
water and toilet paper are very important.
But have you ever purchased, Charlie? You purchased the Costco-sized toilet papers, right?
Yeah.
That lasts you a while.
Those last a while.
Yeah.
Well, if you're trying to be I don't know. That one is an enigma for me. Toilet paper.
People were buying 15 of them.
I love that. Costco
but people
put
are
up
just
the sign.
going into bunker mode.
Yeah. Costco put out a sign saying, sorry for lack of stock, we'll restock in 3 something, and then it was 25,020. I'm like, oh shit, they sold out of toilet paper for 20,000 years. Yeah. Anyways, no, while I was away, I attended Carnival in Germany, in Köln. And that was bloody fantastic. That was a lot of beer drinking. It was
No relation to the South American Carnival, right?
no, not at well. It's more European. It's actually more similar to what I grew up with, called Fastnacht, which is our Halloween. Which is we do a parade in February, and it's to scare the ghosts out of the town. You literally scare really scary, and you make a lot of noise, and you do this parade through town, and you're trying.
So is that why you do that when you come into the store? You're trying to scare away Ryan?
Pretty much.
Okay.
I'm very pasty and white, but
Yeah.
I'm not a ghost.
It's very ghost-like. But no, and the whole tradition is to, you scare the ghosts and monsters out of your town. You're rid of its evil. And similarly, in Germany, they have a similar thing. Fastnacht is just one part of that whole week event. So you start with Weiberfastnacht, which is white Fastnacht, and you start in the middle of town. And you start drinking. And then you drink till nighttime. And then you go to a parade. And you drink till night. No, actually, the second day we went to a bar where the whole bar was bouncing and was shoulder to shoulder people. It's completely different than here. So over there, when you want beer, you choose the beer you want by going to which bar you're going to. It's very different. Over here, you go to a bar, you want a Corona. You could have a Corona. Yeah, you could have a Heineken. It's not like that there. The way to explain it is you go to the Heineken bar.
Right.
And the lady looks at you, and you literally just hold up how many you want, and they just kind of appear, right? So it's very, very different. It's a lot more efficient, because when you're there, they'll literally, when your glass is empty, there's a new one right there, and it's smaller portions, and it's more steady. It's fresh beer. Mm-hmm. So they actually give you it in smaller portions, so it actually comes out fresh. So it's literally an ongoing, steady drink fest. And people are singing, bouncing. I mean, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I mean, we're all dressed in costume. my group was in Lego costumes. Where I was Benny, the spaceman.
Cool.
So I had I had a blue tracksuit with a blue hoodie, and I had the Lego hands and like a mask. My buddy was
that must
Emmett.
have been great for drinking beer.
Well, it was perfect because it was like a glove, like to hold the beer.
They just put the beer in the hand.
Yeah.
My buddy was Emmett, and then the other one was Lord of Business. The other buddy came with me, and then
Lord of Business.
Lord
Lord
of Business.
Lord of Business.
Yeah,
From the Lego movie.
Oh, I don't remember this apparently.
yeah. You're obviously a grown up.
I saw the Lego movie.
Sure.
Who's Lord of Business?
The bad guy.
The dad.
Just the dad? He was just playing
The bad guy with the suit.
The suit.
I don't remember this
The
at
bad guy in
all.
the end with like and fucking.
I saw it. I saw the movie.
Obviously you did not.
I know what's his face is in it, but I don't remember.
Will Ferrell.
Yeah, I know Will Ferrell's in it.
Yeah.
he's
well,
the
anyways,
Lord of
we were three characters out of the Lego.
So it was
movie.
Will Ferrell. Got it.
Yeah. So the second day we went to this. The third day we went to this parade where you basically drink. I mean, again, they just hand you beer like nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
It's ongoing. And about halfway through the parade, one of the dudes like talks to me. He goes, this is not drinking, right?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "The drinking starts when the parade is over once we go inside." I was like, Jesus Christ. I'm not going to survive this freaking trip. I'm going to freaking die on this one. But all in all, I mean, it was fantastic. The beer was amazing. It's probably the best beer I ever drank, and I probably can't even ever drink American beer again. The way they party is amazing. Met a lot of really cool dudes and girls, and they were all fun. Really cool people. I mean, they were real. I mean, it was fantastic. It was just everybody was super cool, super down, and they're literally all there to party.
Yeah.
So they're all really. I mean, there was like what were the DuckTales bad guys called? The
Beagle Boys?
Yeah. Well, in German they're called the Panzerknackers, but.
Okay.
But there was a bunch of them, like ladies, like older ladies dressed up as that, and they were like showing up with their hoodies with the numbers on the chest and they had the blue caps on.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. But what might interest you guys more is what I did in the UK. Now, this is something I've been wanting to do for years because my buddy's been telling me all about it for many years now. There's a thing called secret cinema, as you told me that some of your buddies told you too.
Yep.
And it's very much like a full immersive cinema experience is probably the best way to describe it. And it's similar to what you get at Comic-Con, where I did the Blade Runner one. I hear what the Westworld one is. But those are kind of more promotional. Like, they do it to promote a certain movie or product. So your experience is maybe limited to 5 to 10 minutes, maybe a little longer if you're lucky. This one is, you pay to get in, and it's a full-on, 3 to 4 hour thing. And literally, you're stepping into the movie. It's I don't want to reveal too much because I hear rumors they're going to bring it here to the States, so I want people to experience it. They may even use the same script and bring it over.
Yeah.
But the way to describe it is...
I have a friend that did a Blade Runner one.
Yeah.
He said it's out of this world.
Yeah, I hear... For Back to the Future, they built the entire Back to the Future town.
Yeah.
Right? For this one, they kind of built the mall, the outside town. Oh, so I went... The one I went to is called for Stranger Things. So you walk into the mall and basically...
Was it for the new season?
Yeah, for the third season. And they had the town and they had all these secret passageways. So basically you go in and you're given a character, right? You're given a group character that you have, and based on that you go on these different storylines. Now, it's kind of one of these things you can make it as much as you want it to be, or you could just go there and sit down and have a beer or have food. They have food and stuff like that. It's all incorporated, right? You could just sit down and just enjoy the atmosphere, or you could really follow the clues and go on these really side missions, and then there's red herrings that'll take you away from these side missions. There's these other missions that they can take you away from, and it was one of the most coolest experiences I've ever done. I flat out if you guys ever
did you do all the stuff or
so the first one, like I said, I don't want to go into too much detail. Yeah. The ending we had, so it was so cool that we went to it again. We only planned to go at once, and it was so cool that we're we can pull this off again when we come back. Because we thought it was over, but they extended by a week because it was so popular. So we got to go again, and we got completely different storylines in the two experiences. Like the first one, we went kind of the good way, and the second time we went the other way. So, like I said, I don't want to reveal anything because the minute I say something, I'll take away from the experience.
Yeah, of course.
But just know there's like you literally. I mean, there's actors in there playing parts. You actually walk into scenes from the show, right? There's like 4D stuff going on. There's like, like just phenomenal. If you're like in like. It's like a live action RPG video game. Yeah. Like and
what's the normal price on them? Because I know they're expensive, but
so
it's a huge thing.
The first time we went, we bought because we don't want to mess around.
Yeah.
We bought the VIP package.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So we were news reporters.
Okay.
Which is kind of like the care to give you, and because of that, you got special access. Like certain places you didn't need a password. They're like, oh, you're a friend of blah blah. Come in, and which otherwise you had to kind of follow the clues and get certain passwords.
Do you have like a badge?
Yeah, you get like a newscaster badge. Okay. Yeah. So you get like a newscaster badge. So again, and the second time on purposely we did not want to do that again, so that we get a completely different experience. So the second time we also got a little bit of a discount, but I think the VIP one was like translated, from the British pound, it was like maybe 160. So it's not cheap. It's not cheap.
Well, but for that much time.
But it's like and you get like a food coupon, which and then 2 drinks, right, for the VIP package. And the non one was, I think we paid maybe like $60.
Oh, that's nothing.
Yeah, and I actually, truth be told, I actually like the regular storyline better. Because you actually go from things to things a little more natural. Yeah. But again, I don't want to say too much about it. If they ever bring it here, Secret Cinema, I cannot recommend it enough. Like, I would just say skip Comic-Con and do this.
This is the thing you like about Comic-Con the most.
Yeah, this is my favorite thing.
Yeah,
it's one, like, and it's so much deeper because you're literally, there's like little storylines that you catch on, and there's even stuff that we did the same things on the second time, but because we did a different storyline, it was a completely different experience. Like, different things were happening.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. But you and the actors, I have to like congratulate the actors. The actors were really good. Like the actors, like some of the actors, you have to do double takes, and you're like, "Wait, was that actually 11?" Like you go like, "That Hopper is a little skinnier, but it looks like Hopper." Like you're like, these people they picked them really well. And the girl that plays the sister of the African American kid, Erica, I think it's Erica. She is like probably our age, but based on her acting, you're like, I'm buying that. That's Erica. She is the like 12-year-old kid. She's probably like 30, right? But the way she acted, I was like, well, well, she's younger than us, right? But the way she acted was like, dude, I'm buying this so much.
That's cool.
Robin was just like Robin. Steve was another like double take. I'm like, that's fucking Steve, but it wasn't. But it's like that close. The guy who played Murray, that guy who played Murray was out of this world.
Did they actually serve ice cream?
They did. You could buy it. You have to. It's what. So again, they do it in such a natural way that it's not like, oh, here's the food stand. It's like naturally in the world. Like there's a full-on bar. Like in the town, you actually walk into a bar where like Hopper would hang out and stuff like that. There's little stands at the the fairground and stuff for the finale where they have like pizza stands and stuff like beer stands. It's all like naturally incorporated, and you have to dress up. You get instructions like a week before. They don't tell you where it is. You have to dress up. You have to bring things, and they give you a character. So you don't go as normal Brock. You don't go as normal Charlie. Like the first time
there's no normal Ryan, right?
There's absolutely no. It's absolutely Goth Ryan if Ryan ever goes.
Oh, it's 80s, man. Come on, I'd fit right in.
Yeah.
Kidding me.
But again, phenomenal. I mean, like I did the whole Miami Vice look. Actually, for the second one, we should have dressed differently, but it's not that big of a deal. You just kind of follow the storylines. But yeah, highly recommend it. If they ever bring it to the States, or if you're ever in the UK and you like those immersive experiences, definitely do it. Like, don't even just sign up.
So how long were you in them?
How often do they do them?
So they're about to do Dirty Dancing, which is about to start, and it goes for like a few months. But they like sell out pretty far advance. Like I hear people already buying tickets for like August, like now. But Dirty Dancing is the next one. They just wrapped up Stranger Things. They did Back to the Future. They did a couple Star Wars. They did a Casino Royale. Supposedly was really good. And they just made a deal with Disney. They got Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, like official.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so there's Pirates of the Caribbean is a big rumor now. Tron is a big rumor now.
Nice.
Like, I'm just like, if they did Tron, like, and you could go into, fuck me, I'm so in. Like,
great.
yeah.
So just this is one step away from Westworld.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I actually hope they do Westworld. I do actually wish to do.
Would be trippy.
I mean, this I can actually talk about because this happened at Comic-Con for an experience. They took like 75 people and they would pick you up in a van and you go to the whole initiation process where you pick the hat and stuff, and you actually go in the world and the actors are trained to be robots. So if you say certain phrases, they would twitch in a weird way and stuff like that. And at some point in the experience, they actually shut down and they freeze, and you have like security coming with their guns and stuff like that. I mean, that's a Comic-Con. Like, just imagine that times 100. Like, and that's secret cinema for you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I know there's I'm trying to remember the name of it, but there's a like attraction here in the U.S. that's running a lot. That's like a real life fantasy town.
Yeah.
The same kind of thing, but I don't remember what.
Like, there's
called.
like really cool. Like, there's supposedly there's a Sherlock Holmes murder mystery theater like dinner thing that you could attend and stuff like that. They have brought over and stuff. This is just this on crack. I mean, it's literally like it's a giant warehouse that they converted into like different worlds, and I'm like, please do Ready Player One, where you like put a goggle on and you just step into the next room. I'm like, please.
Nadia and I went at like Maggiano's. We went to a event they did, which was like a dinner mystery kind of thing where you had to figure out who murdered so and so and like the time there and that kind of thing. That was fun.
Yeah. No, I highly recommend. Like, the actors were fantastic. Like, you literally walk into the world of your favorite movie or favorite show.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, you're talking about Comic-Con. You're saying you probably don't go to Comic-Con and go to this instead. Well, who knows what the next few months are going to bring up, because Emerald City Comic-Con officially canceled. We were talking about this the last few weeks.
No, you're wrong. It's not canceled.
Sorry, postponed. Postponed to summer 2020.
As Charlie would like to remind me, he was right.
Postponed
not
to
you.
2020.
He was right. He told me, by the way. He reminded me that he was correct and you were not.
Yes.
About what?
I took so much joy over our conversation last week where you're just like, there's no way they would cancel Emerald City Comic-Con unless 70% of the people. I'm like, no, there has to be a threshold where they would cancel.
And they hit it. Yeah, they hit it. So it is postponed. As we are recording, it's not official, but E3 has been canceled. The big video game conference. That is not official. Word is it's official tomorrow, but it's not official as of this recording.
South by Southwest. So, do you know the common denominator?
They just postponed Coachella.
Yeah, Coachella.
That got moved to October.
There's another concert.
It's South by Southwest is canceled.
Yeah,
correct.
Yeah, but do you know what the common denominator is? And these cancellation postponing.
What's that?
It's the city.
Oh, sure.
A lot of these shows are holding on for dear life till the city says something, and I think it's an insurance-based thing.
They have to. Yeah.
Well, because if they do it on their own, I think they're out a lot of money. I think that's just a theory. It's just a theory. I don't know for sure, but it's just a theory.
They've canceled a couple Sharks games.
Well,
that's Santa Clara County.
Yep. Here in the Bay Area, the Santa Clara County, the South Bay, south of San Francisco County, has put a moratorium on over 1,000 people gatherings. So things like concerts, the Sharks games.
Well, in Italy, they actually played sporting events where there was no audience.
Yeah, they've done that in a few places. I think that's probably what's going to end up happening there. I know a bunch of big video game tournaments have been canceled. But yeah, I think PAX and
Hearthstone had their world something like last weekend, but they just changed it to all online.
Right? Yeah, PAX and C2E2 may have been. That might be it. Comic-Con is, you've got some time, but not that much. If May is rolling around and this shit's not under control, Comic-Con isn't happening, guys.
Yeah.
So the next few weeks are going to be... You okay with that?
I'm like...
Everyone... So this is now the dirty truth that's coming out.
Yeah.
Everyone is totally okay with everything getting canceled.
Yep.
Nobody needs to go to these work conferences. Nobody needs to go to these meetings. All these conventions. People are like, no, that's fine.
Well,
you know,
that's I'm only okay with it because I wouldn't mind saving the money for once.
Sure.
Because if it's not happening, then I'm not missing out on stuff, right? So
it's never ending. This stuff never fucking ends.
No, yeah.
Cons and conferences.
I feel like once you're out, you can stay out.
Yeah.
Like, I think Charlie's done a really good thing about staying out. He came back once.
One Comic-Con, they don't have a Comic-Con. That's big.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, my buddy Nate has not come back in a long time. Yeah. So
that will be the thing that kicks a lot of people from stopping. That will kickstart a lot of people stopping.
So my fear in all of this is a lot of these companies are already on the verge of going, we don't technically need to spend the money at all these cons.
Right.
We can announce our stuff kind of like...
Nintendo and Sony and Microsoft. Nintendo still does E3, but Microsoft and Sony are like, we don't need this.
So this is my fear.
We can stream up
the movie companies have all pulled out of Comic-Con already, right?
Well, they were
Mostly.
still there. A lot of shows are still being promoted, but I feel like once they realize like they don't actually need to be at these cons, it's a little sad. It's almost like the start at the end, maybe. Like I do actually like the gatherings. I do like the people getting together, enjoying stuff they like together.
Yeah, of course.
So
I love big conventions, but we've hit a saturation point. And it is so difficult. It's such burnout going to these cons all the time. I've stopped the last couple of years. I really cut back. I don't go to hardly a tenth of what I used to go to. Yeah.
I mean, my perspective on a lot of this is also when I started going to Comic-Con, hotels were not outrageously expensive, and you could buy tickets for the next year's con at the con. And
well, when I went, I flat out drove to the con, bought my ticket at the door, and I found free parking somewhere near the convention center. That's how long I'm an old fogey at this point.
If things start backpedaling towards a non-sensational version, like I don't think Comic-Con's gonna like fully go away.
No, of course not.
I would love to see it be something that doesn't sell out in like 2 minutes.
Right.
And like, there's a Doctor Who convention that I've gone to a few times now.
Gallifrey one.
Yeah, and I haven't gone the past few years.
Doesn't it just sell out immediately now?
It used to.
Oh, it's calmed down.
The last few years, you can actually buy tickets like for months after. Wow. And like even Emerald City, I was noticing, like Emerald City reached a saturation point where they were going super
Saturday
fast.
Was sold out,
but
no?
yeah, but only the Saturday was sold out versus previous years. Everything was sort of sold out really quickly. So I just feel like a lot of this stuff, it's not necessarily that the draw has completely gone away, but I feel like they're reaching a point where the demand is not overtaking the availability level it was.
Yeah.
Except for San Diego.
Yeah. I mean, it's also, there's so many cons now.
Yeah.
Like, people are spread out so much, and I feel like there's just too much of everything, right?
Well, that's what I was saying about the for-profit conventions. You know, they're for-profit. They're for more and more, and they can't support this amount.
No.
You're seeing a lot of cons, like the Wizard Worlds are just a fucking shit show. You have long-running conventions, and you have some really good ones, but you have a lot of garbage conventions out there that just don't last, right? Yeah. And this could really kill off some of those ones that are just hanging on.
And a lot of those sort of smaller conventions have burned certain bridges with talent and that kind of stuff. Like you hear about some of the horror stories about somebody not getting paid because
I don't want to see like people lose their jobs and shit, but I mean, some of this stuff just goes on momentum. And this might stop a big part of that momentum, which Yeah.
Are you saying we're going to have a slight reboot next year?
Good.
A convention reboot?
Well, they have
They're going to announce the new 52. It's just going to be 52 conventions, and that's it.
And one every weekend.
It's
For
not
the world,
it's
not
not
just the US.
It's not the companies I feel bad for; it's the creators, because a lot of creators, especially artists, they make
Some of
make
the,
a
especially
shitload
some
of
of the
money.
smaller
Yeah.
artists.
This
because
is
they
where-
rely on the convention season.
So if you normally go to cons, look up who was on that guest list and go buy something off their Etsy store, or go
Or their
pick up a
webpage,
print
yeah,
or
pick up a print,
something, because those are the people that are going to be
and-
hurting.
And I've heard a lot of them are really kicking up trying to make up
Yep.
for the costs
Yep.
that they lost from
Yeah,
these
I
cons.
saw when they announced Emerald City, there was a couple creators that were like, if you're an artist that was going to go there and you're kind of small, hit me up and I will retweet,
Yeah.
to get the word out.
Well, even though the convention season may be over before it even starts, we still do have some comic book news to talk about, and this is one that I am so excited for.
The new cable?
And I know Charlie's gonna probably be excited
Cable's
for this one
back?
too.
Fuck the new cable.
Charlie's
That's the
canceled.
skinny kid one, right?
Charlie's canceled Cable twice today. Okay?
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, is there a new cable besides the skinny kid?
No.
No, he's just talking about how I no longer have cable television, and
Oh,
I'm not getting the new cable book.
Cable is canceled twice. No, this is the Amazon Audible adaptation of Neil Gaiman's The Sandman is coming. A full multi-part audio drama of Sandman, full cast.
he's been doing that, though.
Including narrated by Neil Gaiman.
Yeah, but he's been doing that stuff already with, like, all his
Well,
books.
yeah, he does audiobooks and stuff.
But fully, like, with cast, like different voices
Sure.
for different
Yeah,
casts.
but
But
a
this
lot of
is
that's
Sandman.
like in the UK and that kind of stuff.
Look, I like Neil Gaiman. I like Neil Gaiman's novels and shows and blah, blah, blah. That's cool. This is Sandman. So now I said... Oh, I'm
You're showing off your.
I'm shockingly
your
not
Ankh-
wearing a
Ankh
Sandman.
nipple, your Ankh nipple ring.
I am wearing my Ankh earring, but I'm shockingly not wearing a
His
Sandman
Ankh
thing today.
nipple ring?
yeah,
It's close enough.
you didn't even know about that one, did you?
I was like, what?
You didn't even know about that one.
I don't need to know about it.
So he's working
You know
with,
about the other ring either.
Oh, Jesus.
He's working with Dirk Maggs, who also did Batman Nightfall, Lazarus Syndrome, and Kingdom Come. So all of these guys
Nice.
have done a lot of the DC's radio dramas, which I wish they would bring some of those, like do more of them. I hope
Yeah.
this is like a start, because they did a bunch of them and then have stopped. So
If it's the company I think it is, I think I backed a Humble Bundle where I got a ton of them.
nice. And if English is not your normal language, French, German, Italian, and Spanish editions will come. I'm assuming Neil Gaiman is not doing those versions, but
You never know.
maybe I'll learn. Yeah. Okay.
No, that's awesome.
No,
I like the X-Files audio stuff that Amazon did based
Yeah.
on the comic books.
Okay. I didn't even say that.
Yeah, they did like 2 releases based on the comic books that
Nice.
they did. I don't remember the name of the company that did them, but
Tops, like back in the day. It was
no.
Oh, the new
With-
stuff,
the
IDW.
new stuff. Yeah, I think it was the IDW stuff.
Tops X-Files comic.
And I know they did Lock and Key. They have the audio
yeah.
Lock and Key on
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
No,
That's IDW too.
yeah, they've done some really good stuff, audio adventure wise,
Yeah.
audio drama wise.
So I haven't quite jumped on the English audio adventures, but I grew up on the German stuff, and I love that stuff. And it's funny because it's the people that dubbed the American shows are the ones that are also doing the audio adventures. So I quite love them. Like I love the Knight Rider ones, and none of them had the rights for the actual theme song, so they had like their own different theme song, which always threw me off. But there was the really cool A-Team one, and I actually later in life found them all on YouTube and totally ripped them
Nice.
off of YouTube. So I have a full collection now, so I'm
Nice.
pretty proud of that.
I'm sorry, Toby.
Yes.
I just realized I've never given you any of the David Tennant Doctor Who audio
Well,
adventures or the Missy.
I think I
Audio
bought them
adventures.
all on Humble Bundle myself, and I think the first one I hear is the Martha Jones one, where she's with Unit. I think
that was a different. That was like the older stuff. They did bring Freema in to do a Torchwood one
that's
recently.
what. Yeah. Okay. Well, the old stuff
Yeah.
I think I was
Yeah.
going to start with.
But no, like Big Finish has some David Tennant stuff. They have some Missy stuff.
Very cool. No, I think I backed maybe even 2 Humble Bundles that had a bunch of like Doctor Who audio adventures.
Yeah, you probably did.
So I probably have like a
done a
collection of
number of
70 freaking audio adventures I have to listen to.
I think
so
they
that's
even have
one
one
month's
going on right now.
So that's 1 month's worth of audiobooks from Doctor Who. 70. That's about right. It's about they put out about 70 new ones a month.
Oh yeah,
really?
Not
ridiculous.
not 70, but yes.
I'm
Big
joking.
Finish they put out more content than I could possibly keep up with.
Wow, that's saying
not all-
something
well-
because you keep up quite well.
Well, but I mean, when you talk about Doctor Who and spin-offs,
Yeah.
Big Finish spins off everything. They have the unit stuff, they have the War Master stuff, they have the Gallifrey stuff.
Sign me
they
up
have
for
the-
anything with Martha Jones. Sign me up with anything
There's something
with
like
Rose.
500 audio.
Damn.
It's something ridiculous like that, or more.
beating
500 or
Naruto.
600 more.
Oh,
or
it's
something.
more.
Is it more?
Wow.
Is it
It's got to be more.
Just Doctor Who alone? pushing
Doctor
1,000.
Who and other properties.
And Torchwood and Connected. Yeah.
You must know what their money cow is.
Yeah. No, I mean they've launched a few things unsuccessfully that were like other properties.
They did
but
like
then
Supernatural and a few others.
well, they did like Stargate for a
Yeah,
little while, and I
yeah.
think they did Highlander for a little while,
Yeah.
if I'm not making it up. But I also feel like like everything, I'm sure it comes down to budget, but like the ones that work for me the best tend to be the Doctor Who ones, because you're really only looking at 2, maybe 3 people that you need to put in there to make it sort of fit within Doctor Who. Like, it's not a huge ensemble cast technically. Versus like the Torchwood audio adventures tend to, there's a box set that has like the full group that they do, but the like monthly line is typically focusing around 1 or 2 characters. It's not like the full team.
Well, it's also
And-
hard to schedule everybody together.
And that's what I think kind of hurt the Stargate line too. All they did was like, this one's a Daniel Jackson one. This one's which doesn't really feel like the show in that case.
Right,
But
right.
but they have some original material that they've put out. They also have done various like literary stuff that they've
Right.
done. So like they have their own Sherlock Holmes line, and like they've put out Treasure Island and Frankenstein and Dracula.
Right. Yeah, just original stuff.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. Well, I have a feeling Toby's going to have an opinion on this one. I want to get your opinion.
Uh-oh.
You guys see the new Batmobile?
Yeah?
Yep.
Matt Reeves' new Batmobile?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Cool.
Yeah.
What do you
I'm
mean?
not into. It's not bad. It's just a car.
What do
It's
you
just
mean?
a random car.
It looks like the one where Jason Todd stole the wheels off.
It's just a random car. I want the Batmobile.
It
I mean,
looks
it's the
year
start of a Batmobile.
I guess.
I mean, that
Like
Not
if,
into
if,
it.
if this is
As-
year
as
2
Brock
Batman
said-
and he's building his own Batmobile and he's just starting with the back of it first, and
I mean, for me, as Brock said, if this is early days and he adapted a different type of vehicle into a Batmobile, I'm perfectly fine with that.
yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of glad not to see a what's it called, a pun. I've been in Germany too long. Like, what's a Panzer? It's shit.
The tank?
A tank. It's not a tank for once. Thank you. Yeah, it's funny because when I went there, I couldn't fucking speak German. Now I'm like certain words. I'm like can't even remember English now. It's all like reworded. Yeah, but
Fine.
no,
I'm just not into it.
no. Why not?
Nah, because it's just a car.
I will tell you my
Did we
opinion.
like how the bat symbol looked in that shot?
No.
All right,
I mean,
let's not
either
bring that
way,
up. I heard
just-
that podcast.
Just wait till you see it in action. If there's one thing I've learned about movie images is I'm never sold on the suit from a still image. I'm never
Yeah.
sold on the
Like the Joker when it was like just that shot of him in the subway. You were like, huh?
Oh,
Oh, I was
out of
in minute one.
random
But it's-
curiosity, did you see some of the stuff that came out of New York Toy Fair?
Yeah, I mean, that's also
Like the prop stuff that NECA's, I think is it NECA?
It must be.
I think it was NECA, but like they're putting out like replicas of various gadgets from Batman '89 and from Batman the Animated Series
I did
with
see
like
those,
the
yeah.
Mr. Freeze gun and the goggles
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Batman Beyond Batarang.
Yeah.
And
I'm scared now.
Those are neat.
it's gonna
It's
be
gonna be
so
one
much
day I'm
fun.
gonna be at Charlie's house and he's gonna have the animated Batman belt, utility belt.
You open the door, just the music starts.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah. I could see Charlie building himself a Batcave, like an animated one. Not even the real one. It'd be like the animated one.
You know,
See?
I'm just picturing with the Batman Beyond, they had Mr. Freeze's gun in like a case in the back.
See, it's starting.
Yeah, I could totally start buying
starting.
these props just to like
See, Jim
put
is,
in like a trophy room of like the Batcave.
Jim is recreating the Hulk scene from the future. Perfect. And Charlie is going to build himself an animated Batcave. And we go to his house, he's going to roll around in the chair. He's like,
Give me time.
They have the little dinosaur in Batwoman. Yeah.
I tell you what, though, I have an opinion on the first Batman image. Though he looks like Bullseye from Daredevil season 3.
Yeah, a lot of people said that.
Yeah, it's like fake Batman.
I like the collar. I like the.
I'm not saying anything. That was more a joke than anything. But
It's fucking Batman. I'm super excited.
Yeah, and it's the dude from Planet of the Apes. I love those movies, and so I'm more excited for the filmmaker than anything else.
Well, we have one more show. We finally got a release date for Stargirl. Monday, May 11th, it'll be on DC Universe, and then Tuesdays, it'll be on the CW with commercials.
So from my membership, I get a measly week early? Or a couple days?
One day early.
One day early?
Yeah.
One thing that made me feel...
it's on Tuesdays.
Damn.
One thing that made me feel better about that is they did say we'd be getting extended at least
episodes.
of some of the episodes.
Yeah.
And commercial free.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Which should go for something.
Yeah.
And a nice big comic library.
Very excited.
And all the other
excited.
original shows, which I love.
And 4K Ultra HD too on DC Universe. So
yeah, that's for people that have 4K TVs like you two.
Actually, does that mean they're going to be running 2 shows at once?
Yep.
Well, Harley is April. Yeah.
Which means they'll be doing Harley and Stargirl. So it's sort of like a bonus.
Yeah, nice. So really,
The cartoons have been phenomenal.
Really look forward to Stargirl.
I know. I need to watch the Harleys. I haven't watched them yet.
They're fantastic. That's actually
And
probably my favorite thing they've
Season 2
done.
is starting like 2 months after season 1.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite thing they've done. I mean, surprising-wise, Young Justice is probably my favorite. Still.
Having that second season come out so quick means one of two things. It's a huge hit and they want to crank it out, or it's a gigantic failure and they want to just dump it. It's
It
one
is
or
not
the
a
two.
failure.
I don't know. It's one or the other.
Ask your peoples, Ryan. You
I don't
got
know
peoples.
anything.
Yeah, you do. You got peoples over there.
Speaking of my people, we're on to our second Jeff Johns story of the night.
Oh.
And that's Jeff Johns' Jason Fab books. Batman 3 Jokers
Oh,
is
finally.
happening.
I'm
And
actually
it's
excited
only
for this
3
book.
issues?
3 issues.
Oh,
starts
one Joker per
June
issue?
17th. It is not Prestige Plus format. It is standard,
Oh, thank the fucking
standard
God.
Prestige comic size.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love to see Fabok's art.
That's okay. I'm just enjoying the fact I'm going to be buying a single issue again.
I
Yeah.
know.
Wait,
You're not getting
3?
Shazam?
It is complete.
Ooh.
It is done. That is why it is coming out now.
wow.
John says he did not want to release it until it was finished.
Do you think it got shortened?
So no. As far as I know, it's
They're 48-page
yeah.
3 books.
Black
label.
Yeah, so they're going to be larger size.
Yeah,
they're going
I'm
to be
looking forward to this.
oversized issues, but a standard
So,
comic size format.
He's been teasing this one for years, so I'm looking
yeah,
forward to it.
yeah,
So I know
Finally.
they talked to Entertainment Weekly about it.
yeah.
I saw some of the images. It looks great. I'm just super excited. Is it June?
June 17th.
June 17th?
Yep, just in the next previews catalog. Gonna be big.
Speaking of Black Label books, did you guys get to read Strange Adventures?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I haven't been in the country, so
Is it weird that they
That didn't stop me from reading Rebirth on my honeymoon, as you like to
Oh
point out.
yeah,
At
yeah. You tippy toe around
every
yeah. Your
possible
highlight
time,
of your honeymoon.
Every possible time.
It's funny because it's marketed as a Black Label book,
yeah,
but they bleep the swearing in it.
that's fine.
I'm just
I mean, I haven't read it to speak, but it could just be that they've...
Adult in nature.
I'm not even saying adult in nature. I mean, sometimes they bleep stuff like that more as a artistic choice rather than...
yeah, it's it could be. I mean,
Can't wait for the Jokers, and I mean, I don't know what else Jeff Johns has coming up. Hopefully something. I don't know if he's going to be working on JSA or something past this, or if this is his last comic work for the foreseeable future.
Well, is he
They'll be back.
officially
Yeah,
off
so like
Shazam?
comics.
No, Shazam's still going on. Yeah.
So-
yeah. I mean,
new
Additional?
it's something. Yeah. As far as I know, he's on Shazam long.
Okay.
So, I just feel
Stop freaking me out,
I just
Ryan.
feel like we need
Yeah.
more.
Why
I
are
feel
you
like we
doing
need
that?
more. All right, we got some
Don't
Patreon.
say Johns is done.
We have some Patreon questions. We're going to get to some of these, some Twitter questions. A little light on news. I actually am really surprised we didn't have the sales charts today.
Wonder why that is.
Well, I don't see how Wolverine isn't the number one book of last month. So
He came out again?
the new series, yeah.
Oh.
So unless something
Is it him?
happened and DC or Image
it
somehow
him?
beat it,
Oh.
I assume Wolverine is the number one book. So this could be a rare time where my
that's
theory
why
is off.
that's why you lost your list, because it's a Marvel book at number 1, so therefore you just happen to not have a list today.
No. When
normally
Marvel
the other
books are number one, the list comes out immediately.
Yeah, it would have been out. It would have been out like
Last week.
So you're thinking it wasn't?
When it's delayed, it's not a Marvel book at the top every single time. This may be a rare case. I don't know what would possibly beat Wolverine. So this may be a rare case where they may come out on the third week and be a Marvel book on top, and Marvel takes market and unit shares. That's very surprising because it does not happen. It's always delayed because Marvel is not the top. We'll see. We'll see what it says. Hopefully next week we have it. We should know Friday. Tyler on Patreon says, are there any artists you like on the cover but not on interiors or vice versa? As I'm reading Fantastic Four and X-Men, I think Terry Dotson's a great cover artist, but every time I see his interiors, I'm a little disappointed.
You need to check out his French books, and you will completely go the other direction with your opinion.
Yeah. Well, most interior is not up to the quality of a cover because they get paid a fraction of the amount to do
Also,
interior pages.
less time.
Yeah,
I
less
mean,
time.
Like, if you look at his, the 2 French books he did, he took
they're
his
gorgeous,
time.
yeah,
they're
yeah,
fucking phenomenal.
I mean, for me,
I see what
you
he's
can
saying.
always
though.
just tell when something is rushed on the interiors. And most of the time that doesn't bother me. Like, most of the time it's fine. But I will say this, that when you have a good interior artist and you get to like a splash page or something.
I can tell you an interior artist I don't like.
Is he also a cover artist you don't
Yeah.
like?
Yeah, I was about to say. I don't think there's any question on who I
Coraline?
think it
Is it
is.
Coraline?
bad.
The book I was thinking about? The Terry Dodson one? Coraline? Is that...
That's the Neil
Sound right?
Gaiman book. Muse? The Sarah Dodson one? Isn't that it?
Yes, Muse.
No.
I would recommend that one for interior for Terry.
Yeah, I mean, it's just different. I don't expect the interior art to match cover art quality. It can. Sometimes interior art's fucking incredible. They're just amazing artists. But usually the cover is obviously going to be better.
I mean, the only thing I could think of is there are particular artists that I like on the cover, but that's not because it represents what the comic will be on the inside.
Yeah.
Sort of like, I love all the various Scotty Young, like, stylistic covers and stuff,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I would flip out if that was like the main book
book,
art
yeah.
for, like, I love it when he does his own little, like, mini series or whatnot.
I hate
but,
Fairyland.
Yeah. All that stuff is good because it really, really suits that style. I just wouldn't want, like, the main Avengers book to turn into that style. Or
Yeah. Verum Libertas says, what's the one thing Marvel or DC could do that would get you to stop buying their comics?
I already stopped buying Marvel.
And Craig P. Anderson replied, hire back Ethan Van Sciver. LOL. So,
No, don't joke about it.
I mean, it would really depend. When some books get bad, I stop buying them. When creative teams I know I'm just so not into, I will sometimes stop buying them. I will stick through a bad run if I expect it to be short, if I really like the character. But on like a more like, just to never buy another Marvel comic again or another DC comic again, I don't know. I mean, my Marvel buying is very minimal these days, but I'm just not into
What
the
if
characters.
Joe Quesada kicks you out of a forum online? Would you still buy Marvel?
If Joe
then?
Quesada kicks me out of the DC forum, I'll stop.
Is he DC now?
No,
Oh.
that's a joke. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I can tell you what Marvel did to make me stop buying Marvel single issues.
Well, it's Bob Harris now, right? Marvel?
he's at DC.
Oh, he's at DC
Yeah,
too?
he's been at DC for a long time.
Who's running Marvel these days?
It's what the hell's the guy's name?
CB?
Oh, but sorry,
Subisky.
CB Cebulski.
Yeah.
and
That's right. Wasn't it also a classic guy? I thought it's Sabusky and someone
yeah,
else.
that's the other. I'm totally buying
Sorry,
his
Brock.
name.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'll think of it.
All right.
No, about 10 years ago now, Marvel started changing their. They changed their interior paper stock to kind of this really just paper stock that didn't ink would come off of it so super easy.
Yeah, their
and
paper
it was
stock's been
garbage.
for
And then
years.
they started transitioning it over to the actual covers. So the cover stock was the same as the interior stock.
That's meaningless to me, though. I don't care what the paper quality is. If the book's good, I'll still read it.
But it was just across the board. And they were starting to charge $3.99.
Yeah.
For just that, and they didn't care about it. I'm like, no, I'm done.
I'll be honest, it's the constant number ones that kind of threw me off at Marvels because I lost track. Because as a guy that's always behind, I'm like, I have number 2 of which series now? And my number 3, is this the number 3 that goes behind this one? Or is there a whole...
Oh, it's Thor.
Because,
the female Thor would confuse you because
well, there were new number 1s every 6 months or 3 months, it seems. And at that point, I'm like, look, I'm loyal to my characters, but it's too hard to collect at this point.
Yeah.
Which, to be honest with you, I probably should have stopped a long time ago. But when it became tricky where I didn't even know what book it was anymore, I'm like, all right, I'm out.
You know what?
Okay. I mean, I don't really do single issues for the most part anymore, but in terms of what gets me to buy either both DC or Marvel is sort of a clear sense of this is a story that I want a collection of for the hardcover and whatnot. And that's something I've been sort of harping and we've been talking about with the new X-Men stuff, because I don't have a clear sense of the story means I haven't jumped on the new hardcovers or collections or anything because I need that. I need some sense of what I'm buying.
Yeah. I picked up the Hawks and Pox hardcover, deluxe hardcover, because I really enjoyed Hawks and Pox. But going forward after that, I'm like, I don't really see me buying any of the X-Men titles.
But I mean, for me, it even I didn't buy the Hawks and Pox hardcover because all that is sort of set up and an interesting state of things. But until I know where the story's I still fully expect, hopefully at some point, I will be like, okay, now I absolutely need to pick that up. But right now, it's sort of like with Aaron Thor. I was very willing to pick all those up because as I was reading them, I was enjoying the story. I liked the direction it was going. I'm super excited that they're finally putting out the War of Realms omnibus. Was also in the most recent solicitations.
Yeah.
Oh, it's coming back?
No, War of Realms, the new one.
Isn't that part of the Galactic... quadrilogy? What's
no,
the 5
that's
word?
War of Kings and...
Yeah, wasn't...
Right,
No, War of Realms is the new Thor crossover.
Oh.
yeah, that's
Okay, sorry.
not quite the finale of Aaron's
You're
Thor
thinking of
run,
Realm of Kings.
but close to the
Wasn't there a
finale.
war book, too, of War of Realms on that?
No, it was a War of Kings.
Oh, all right.
Any event, I'm for me, that's really what it comes down to is there some sort of story or arc that I'm like, this is a phenomenal run, and
Yeah, I've oddly been
pick it up.
going backwards. I lost track, and not because I didn't try, or maybe I just got busy, to all the Jeff Johns stuff, so I picked them up all on hardcover instead. I'm actually more backtracking as opposed to being current on my stuff. I'm like the Aaron Thor. I'm like, I really want to read all that stuff, so that's probably my next starting point. I'm literally what was big in history, and what would be cool.
Well, you have hindsight, so you could look back at what was worth following.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm more backtracking than I am current.
I mean, I'm a completionist with a lot of the DC stuff, so it would take something pretty monumental for me to not read Superman or Batman. But stuff like 5G, if
I think didn't we pick a creative team that would make you
well,
just drop it?
but again, I assume that's minimal. All right, that will not last.
But you would still
I could
drop it at
skip
the
those
time.
issues, but yeah, I mean, something like what the proposed 5G was, I don't even know anymore. Yeah, a fundamental change where Superman is not Superman and isn't going to be Superman for the foreseeable future. Yeah, that would get me. This isn't Nightfall. That's fun.
No, but I guess what I'm
If they
curious
did Age
is...
Apocalypse,
but that's limited.
did they announce
but
it? That was
you,
1 year.
You knew that was
Okay,
it's
Age of
not
Apocalypse absolutely was announced.
Oh, it was?
And understood to be
You guys
limited,
know my
but-
story that when I moved here, it was Age of Apocalypse that nobody freaking told me was
Yeah.
happening.
No,
I
but-
thought it was real. I'm like,
but-
what?
Nowadays, with the way marketing kind of leans into things, even if they did do that, shake up where Superman's not Superman, Batman's not Batman,
No, it wouldn't
I would
last.
assume that it wouldn't last anyway. So I'm curious, where would that threshold be for you? Like, at what point, once it crossed and there's still no end in sight, would you just be like, I'm
At
done?
some point, I would probably lose that. Then that's what got me to drop a lot of the Marvel books, especially around Avengers. I kind of retroactively got back into Bendis' new Avengers, but I was just not into what he was doing at the start when it happened. In retrospect, I like it, but at the time, I was like, "This is a good jumping off point." Brubaker on Cap.
I love Bendis and the new Avengers book. Just like
I mean, it has been years at this point since I bought a Marvel book regularly. But Brubaker's Captain America run and all the Annihilation War Realms stuff.
Yeah, those are the main two
that kept me reading. In the early 2000s and in mid 2000s. So it's been the last 10 years where it was the constant reboots. The creative teams I'm not into, the direction I'm not into.
Exactly my point.
Just like, okay, well, this is it. If DC was rebooting every year and changing the directions and creative teams every single year, that would make it really hard to continue, I think. And I think it's smart that both Marvel and DC have kind of knocked that off. Marvel still does it more than I'd like, but it's not as bad as it was. And there's great Marvel books. I actually just been catching up on the Donny Cates Guardians of the Galaxy book. That book's fantastic. I just wish there was a nice through line from the old Guardian series to the new Guardian series to kind of keep the momentum going this whole time, but the books got bad for a while. So, speaking of Craig's, my older son is is into comics, but is not the biggest superhero guy outside of Jeff Johns' books. He really likes Southern Bastards, Manifest Destiny, and Garth Ennis's war books. What suggestions do you guys have for him to pick up in trades? He's a podcast listener, too, so hello, Danny.
Hi, Danny.
Thank you for listening to the podcast. And Josh Pickett's is one of Brock's picks. That's Birthright.
Yeah, Birthright's really good. Just a one-shot that's actually getting a sequel is Dead Body Road. Mm-hmm. They just solicited #1 for the new... I can't remember what the name of it is, but there's a new one coming out from Justin Jordan. But Dead Body Road was good.
I was just talking about Brubaker. Grab Criminal, grab those hardcovers, original hardcovers he put out. That stuff's real good.
And if you're trying to get him into sort of the superhero stuff, I would kind of go superhero adjacent with like the Ennis's Punisher. If he's been into Ennis's war books.
Try
Swamp Thing, Doom Patrol.
You could try American Vampire from Scott Snyder.
Yeah.
There's a ton of Boys is good. I mean,
especially if you like Ennis's war stuff. Boys is different, but it's
depending on his age.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm kind of a...
Sorry, Danny.
No, he's college.
He's
college.
Was it college?
Yeah, he's college.
Oh, college? Yeah, never mind.
Yeah,
he go on.
I kind of like recommending the second run of the Vertigo books. I know you're one of the original guys, but...
I talk about like Preacher and Transmed. And,
or even the third run, where's Fables, Why the Last Man, 100 Bullets.
Of course.
Scalped.
So
Scalped
all of those
really
books
good.
I think are really phenomenal.
Yeah.
And of course, Kingdom Come.
You might like Law of Walking Dead. I thought Walking Dead was amazing when it
it's a
started.
long run,
I just lost track of it.
Yeah.
But it was a phenomenal book.
I mean, if you like Southern Bastards, you should read Men of Wrath. That's another Jason Aaron
That was the...
icon.
Yeah, I don't think that's probably not available anymore.
Ooh, you have a copy on the shelf.
Well, yeah, but I don't know.
So
that's
go to
something.
comicsconspiracy.biz and order your copy.
On Friday or Saturday after we do our inventory. James Laws says, I'm going to my first Comic-Con as a vendor this weekend in Odessa, Texas. Well, if you're in Texas,
hopefully
it's
it's
our
not.
Comic-Con.
Good luck,
Getting
man.
moved.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Be safe.
Yeah.
Hand sanitizer, wash them hands.
My priority is to advertise the store and network, but do I bring my entire store to sell?
Hell
Just looking
no.
for some tips. That's well, okay. So
Hell no.
That's one of my things that I don't do conventions because I don't have con stock.
Actually, I like your theory. Remember
that?
when you did the cons?
I brought my junk.
You brought your junk. No, but you did it well though. Like you were different than all the other jerk offs there, right?
Well, we made all the other jerk offs lower their fucking prices. That was the best.
You brought your junk to move.
To get rid of
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, but you had a purpose. Is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
I mean, like you had a purpose. Like all the other jerk offs brought their store and it's the same price they had in the store. They brought their statues. You might even freaking break your statue, and then you can't sell it. You have to sell for a discount, and would have been fine in the store. But you brought all your long boxes. You made it all quarter or something like
some
that.
of our clearance
Oh,
items
we brought a lot of
like
clearance
that.
toys and stuff. Yeah, I mean, it depends. It depends what you're doing. If you're there to advertise your store to get people to come to your store,
That's different.
You probably do want to bring good
Yeah,
stuff.
that's a little different.
The problem is that stuff's now not at your store for a weekend, plus probably a day on each side for setup. That's the problem. A lot of the dealers around here that do the cons, they have their stock that they bring to cons, so they're expensive Silver Age books. But again, that takes that stuff away from your store, so you end up walking into a store with a bunch of empty walls.
Well, it also depends on how big is his
Well,
booth.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
I can't
he can
speak
pick and
to-
choose.
It's okay,
He can
sure.
pick and choose, right?
yeah.
Take
Take every other item.
Yeah.
Don't take every item.
I mean, I was just going to say part of it also depends on what kind of traffic he expects to get in his store over
Yeah.
the weekend. If you see a handful of subscribers over the weekend or whatnot,
But you always want to have that best foot forward. You know, I mean, you
Yeah.
could, if you have 2 copies of trade paperbacks, bring one. But don't bring the volume 1 if that's the only one that's at the store.
No,
To me, I feel like I wouldn't take everything out of the store. If you have toys, bring the ones you have duplicates of and a few extras.
Yeah.
I wouldn't take everything.
You can bring a couple, like you can bring a handful of like omnibuses if you have some omnibuses that have been sitting around for a little while.
Sure.
You're
If
kinda
it's
like,
older stock,
hey,
absolutely. And you may
let's-
sell it for full
you
price.
may sell. You
Yeah.
know, you might have
Yeah.
a Charlie walk by and go, "Ooh."
Yeah.
No, Charlie wants a deal.
Yeah.
And I actually, it comes to my point. I mean, as a frequent con goer, as a guy that's at comic book shops a lot, if I see the same thing at the con, it's an automatic. I keep walking. It's no disrespect for any of the guys that have shops that are at these cons. It's just like I see the stuff normally.
Yeah.
And if I'm here, I want to see other stuff. I'm like, I don't have time to see the same Batman figure that I see every week at the comic book shop.
yeah.
So it's on automatic me. I keep going, right?
I mean, for new customers, they're not going to know that. But if your regulars walk by, they're like, oh, this is the same
you have,
stuff
you know,
have.
well,
different
but
groups of people.
so I mean, it depends on what kind of clientele you're going to get going through the con. If you're expecting diehard comic people, there's not much of a point bringing stuff that's readily available all over the place, and you might as well sort of bring stuff that they may not see at other shops.
Right.
If you have a store exclusive, definitely bring like
if-
that.
Oh, yeah. Of
If
course,
you're
of course.
expecting, because I mean, depending on the con and the entrance price for the con and that kind of stuff, it may cater more towards families. If you're expecting a fair amount of like kids and families and people you wouldn't normally see in the shop, bring stuff that's more geared towards that.
Yeah.
It's just
Or if there's like a big creator that's going to be there, bring their stuff.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
that's a good
Yeah,
call.
that's a
too.
good
So,
one. That's a good
or
one.
like, you know, if like an actor from a show is going to be there, bring the books related to that show or movie.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah.
But again, you probably have people coming into your store the days prior to the con looking for that stuff. So also be aware of that. It's tough. It's tough. Just, make yourself look good, but be aware that you don't
And
want to
the
take
last
too
piece of
much.
advice I can give you is don't overstress either way.
Yeah.
Just bring what you think is best.
Yeah. From Josh, he says, I've been reading Birthright and Low, both from Image and trade paperback, and enjoying reading it in the format. Is there something you guys prefer reading in trades over floppy? And it's 100% independent books. I read, at this point, I've given up on buying single issues on everything except for Criminal. That's just because I like support at Brubaker. I just read them in trade for every single independent book. And I've become part of that problem of why indie single issue sales sell so poorly. But it's just how it is.
So
Everything.
Yeah.
well, that's you. So for me, like Walking Dead was the big one for me. Invincible.
Hard to read Walking Dead in single issue. You just get so
Invincible.
little out of it.
Yeah. Every issue is just like
Not that it's bad. It's just
It's
such a big story. It kind of makes more sense to read.
I read Invincible like that. But those had already started by the time I had jumped on.
Yeah.
I remember. I think currently I'm reading like Port of Earth in Just Trade. I'm reading Invisible Republic in Just Trade. What's Animosity? I'm reading in Just Trade. So there's a handful of stuff. Wicked and Divine I read in Just Trade.
Yeah.
Birthright I read in trade.
So
Yeah, it's indie stuff. Yeah.
I actually really, really felt like the Snyder Justice League run would work better in trade. Like I
It's
was
a
reading
big story.
I was reading the single issues, and I realized when I could sit down and read like
A
4
chunk,
to
yeah.
6 single issues at once, I enjoyed it so much more than when I was reading like just one issue.
It's a problem with. I'd not say it's a problem, but it can be a problem with a lot of the bigger arcs that you just don't get a ton out of each issue, so it just reads better in trade. But you always come down to that problem of if no one buys the single issues, they don't make the trades, the book gets canceled. So support the singles, but there are many books like the superhero stuff I generally read monthly, but all of the old stuff I just read in bulk. So and you could also do that. You could buy the single issues and just read 6 at a time. Like I do that with some stuff. So. Erbon asks, this is for Charlie, but of course I want everyone's take. After last week, I need to know, what are the omnibuy you would not suggest, even to collectors? I rarely hear any of the discussion online about the Wonder Woman 60s omnibus or the Justice League Detroit omnibus. I wonder why. Because nobody cares about those books.
I mean, realistically, there's plenty of omnibuses that I would not go out of my way to suggest to people.
Marvel has put out a shocking amount of omnibuses that I don't understand how they got two copies ordered. Like, I don't. They put out like that $125 like Marvel's classic omnibus where they reprinted all the the Iliad and the Odyssey that they did in like the 2000s, and I'm like, who the fuck would buy this?
Didn't they do like a pet one? Like with all the pets and stuff
sure,
like that?
but it's kind of weird for an omnibus.
Yeah.
I mean, even then, depending on which omnibus, like, I would not suggest the Invisibles omnibus because I just suggested deluxe size hardcovers instead. It's just from a readability and size and that kind of stuff. So, but no, there's. It's always hard when somebody puts me on the spot like this, but there's plenty of omnibuses that I...
3. Give them 3.
Let me walk around the store for 2 minutes.
The Ultimate 3
Avengers
omnibus.
Crossroads.
Son of a bitch.
You have Crossroads?
Yeah, of course I do.
That's not good.
It was cheap when I bought it.
But yes, I never bought like the ultimatum.
When the omnibuses are $30 on a clearance sale, pretty much everything's worth it. It's at $150. Is it worth it? No. No.
I do like my omnibuses, but I just don't like them too big.
Yeah.
Like some of the Jeff Johnson, I wish they were just half
The
the
Flash
size.
ones or the Green Lantern ones are huge.
Yeah, I wish I could cut them in half.
Uh-oh, here
I
it
wish
comes.
those box sets and they're just cut in halves.
So the easiest answer for this for me would be like the New 52 omnibus where they put all the number ones
and
in
number
there
zeros.
and then the zeros. Those were non-starters for me. I wasn't really into this one I flip-flop a little bit on, but I never really jumped on the Future's End omnibus, and I've never suggested that story
You're not
to
missing
anybody.
anything. No, you're not. It's just not good.
And
It's New 52, man.
I didn't even make it past DC before I came up with 3.
All right, from Chris. He says, what's your favorite cereal to eat during Saturday morning cartoons? Chris, what about what about Sunday through Friday? Because I eat cereal almost
Saturday
every
morning
day.
cartoons still exist? I thought they got rid of those.
I love me some cereal. I'm a cereal connoisseur. I am right now eating. So Leanne
I'm back on the cereal as of like this week.
Leanne goes to like some like the real supermarket, Target, and then like the cheapy supermarket. Just depends on what we're getting.
Grocery outlet.
She was at grocery outlet and came across like cases of cereal for like $1. It was like so cheap. So I have Fruit Loops and Chips Ahoy cereal for days. Now let me tell you this: I am not
Please tell me you don't mix them.
not a Cookie Crisp, Chips Ahoy. I don't like cookie cereal. However, I was running low. I ran out of a box of what did I just say? Fruit Loops. And I said, well, I got like half a bowl of Fruit Loops.
You mixed them?
I'm going to take my half a bowl of the Cookie Crisp and put it in. Son,
What is
let me
wrong
tell
with
you
you?
how fucking good that is.
Jesus Christ.
I just discovered peanut butter and chocolate, again.
What is wrong with you?
It's something about the fruit and the
my
chocolate.
God.
No, fruit and chocolate are great.
I don't say fruit and chocolate aren't bad together, as in the actual things. You are
So
talking
it's-
about two processed
it's
fake items smashed together.
2-part Fruit Loop, 1 part Cookie Crisp. Okay.
Oh Jesus.
Well, this was technically it was like the not Cookie Crisp. It's the other one. What did I say? It was?
How big of a bowl do you eat out of?
I mean, it's good. It's
You ordered the large cappuccino.
It's probably what they would consider like when they say 1 cup. I'm probably like 2.5, 3 cups.
So the large cappuccino.
It's not that big, but it's good size. Yeah, couple of bananas on top. So I mean, I am look Golden Graham, Golden
Grahams are good.
Fruity Pebbles, big Fruity Pebble fan. I don't know. It's real tough between Golden Grahams and Lucky Charms. Well, it's my favorite. They're both amazing. So
maybe you should mix them now.
Oh, I have. I've mixed every cereal. I always end up with, a little bit left of one, and I put in more of the other. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
So this needs to be you need to make a Twitter account where you talk about, you're mixing cereals.
Oh, I eat.
That's this next YouTube show.
I eat tons of cereal.
He's like, look at the cereal.
Sometimes I'll have, cereal for breakfast. I come home, and I'm like, more cereal for dinner. Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Bachelor chow, man. Come on. It's good stuff.
Whenever I'm in charge of food, my kids just assume I'm going to choose cereal.
Little for the dog. Little for the dog. Here, kid number 1, kid number 2 to kitty.
We normally, in my house, it's normally whatever I decide to get at Costco.
Oh, and I do like
Cheerios.
I legit
Cinnamon Toast Crunch lately.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch is fucking fantastic. I legitimately like Honey Nut Cheerios.
Yes, Honey Nut Cheerios is good.
Do you know why I'm back on the cereal?
Why?
I went to Costco and didn't realize where my almond milk was, so I bought the one that are not in the fridge.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like a giant case of 10 freaking things of almond milk.
The little mini ones?
Yeah, and I was like, God damn, how am I going to drink all of this? I guess I'm going to start buying some cereal so I can go through this a lot faster.
Unsweetened vanilla silk almond milk. That's my almond milk of choice.
I like unsweetened cashew or unsweetened almond. I don't need the vanilla.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. I tell you, chocolate.
Rice Krispies from
our Midwest listeners are going.
I actually decided to get the Rice Krispies from Trader Joe's to realize that they don't
not
pop.
Quite the same.
No.
Snap, no crackle, no pop.
No, I went straight into Safeway and I needed the real ones. And I started mixing them, so I don't have to taste the bad Trader Joe's.
Zach Johnson said, "How many of your customers know about the podcast? Do you get a lot of requests from people to be on an episode?" A decent amount know about it. We've talked about it. I know a bunch listen. So, hello, listeners.
Hello, customer listeners.
Or hello,
I almost
customers.
wish I didn't know that. Makes it harder to look at them in the face.
No, it's fine. If I said anything, I mean, I've said some bad shit on here. And if I said something that bad, they would have stopped shopping here too. So I think I'm okay. I don't really get too many requests from listeners to be on. Like every now and again, someone's like, we've had listeners on a bunch. Fucking Scott just hijacked his way on this podcast. Bryce, they're customers. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, I love it when we get a phone call from a from a podcast listener, and they go, Ryan, and it's like, no, it's Brock. Oh, but the best is whenever it's Marshall and they say Ryan or me. Because apparently
he's like, oh God, not again.
Apparently, we all say Comics Conspiracy the same.
We're all 40-year-old white guys.
I say pizza delivery. How can I help you?
We all sound exactly the same,
especially when Ryan calls.
Mr. Rama, number one Hellboy fan, says, "What was your first experience meeting a comic book pro like, and what was your favorite experience?" Do you remember? I'm pretty sure my first experience meeting a comic pro was meeting Chris Claremont.
Wow, you're starting right at the top.
When I would help out that comic store where I grew up in Massachusetts, I went to there was a Diamond or a distributor office, and I went there one time, and they were doing a signing there with Chris Claremont, and I got an issue of X-Men signed by him.
That was awesome.
Yeah. It's just super young. I'm pretty sure that predates me going to New York Comic Con, the old New York Comic Con, because I met Todd McFarlane and Dan Jurgens there, because they had just shortly after Death of Superman. I got on the Death of Superman trade.
Oh, nice.
And Todd McFarlane signed a Spider-Man book or something. I don't remember what it was. But that was when Image was coming out, when Image was blowing up, they had been out for just a little bit.
Yeah.
So all the Spawn stuff was going on.
Comic book creator, I'm not entirely sure on. It might have been Billy Tookie, because I was going straight into San Diego Comic Con, and it was during the Bad Girls phase where all the Bad Girls were big.
Yeah.
I think Billy I think he still has that booth where it's like right at the front, kind of when you walk in. Now it's a little different now because there's so many lines to actually guide you in.
Yeah.
But when he used to just walk in, his was like one of the first booths you see, and it was like she galore. And at the time, she was a big thing, so it was like kind of crazy just to walk right into his booth, and I'm like, that's the dude. And then not too much further down was the heavy metal booth, which the Ninja Turtles guy was always there at. He sold it since.
Eastman.
Yeah, Eastman. He was always there. So, but I think maybe Comic-Con was when I ran straight into them, where I'm like, and I a kid, the most I could buy is like buying a print that's $20 was a lot of money to me.
Yeah.
So I'd like buy one print and be like, all right, I'm done for the con. Yeah.
For me, it was probably the last time WonderCon was in San Francisco. It was the first time I went to WonderCon. I met Paul Levitz. So the funniest thing was like there was nobody in line at the TC booth to meet him, and I was like, he's going to be there, and I took like my Great Darkness Saga hardcover and got it signed. So.
Nice.
Yeah, that's probably the first one.
When I was working at the other store, Straczynski was quite the thing at the time, and he had a writer that worked with him. I forgot the name. It's a lady. And her mom would come into the store, and she was like, I'm looking for my daughter's books. And I'm like, who's it? And then she was like, it's, I think the book was like No Honor. She maybe wrote some of the Rising Stars minis and stuff like that. And I actually really liked her work, so I got really excited. So I wrote to her... And I thought by standing out, I'm like, I should say I'm the dude that sells your mom your books.
Yeah.
And I guess it came off really weird because she posted it on her blog like really big. Like, that's the first email I got. And I was like, that's me. Oh, wait, she's making fun of me. Never mind. Sorry. I didn't mean it that way. I was like, the first time I got to be in close proximity or talking to someone that, Ashley's writing the books I really like. So, so maybe I overstepped. Or was too verbal, so I'm sorry. But I liked her books a lot. So, yeah.
I mean,
Charlie, when was the first time you looked down on a comic book creator?
Favorite is definitely when Jeff Johns was here at the shop. Like, favorite is easy.
Oh, that's easy. Yeah, that's a great one. Yeah, when's the first time you looked up at a creator? That's a real question.
First time, I can't say who the first person was, but like the people I remember from that con would be like Jeff Loeb and Paul Dini and like some of I think even Bendis was there at the time.
No, nice.
Yeah. But yeah, I can't tell you which one I ran into first. I have like specific memories with each of them. So
yep. Cool. Got a few questions on Twitter.
Okay. Are we doing an email tonight?
From Stefano. He says, I'd like to hear on the comic podcast how do small businesses, like a local comic shop that rely on an uninterrupted flow of weekly product deliveries and customer influx, will handle something like the coronavirus or COVID-19. So, I mean, I think we talked about this a little bit in the previous episodes, but we're kind of right at that tipping point now where things are going to get much better in the next few weeks or much, much worse.
Yeah.
Like,
she's stocking your toilet paper in the back?
No.
Oh, you're in trouble.
We were talking earlier about how, a lot of the stuff in the South Bay has been canceled, larger events. So, this weekend was very busy.
It was?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yesterday and today were very slow, but I can easily write off a Monday and Tuesday being slow because they usually are. It's not... being slow on a Monday and Tuesday is not uncommon. With all the tech companies out of people aren't going to work, that will prevent some people from leaving their house, period, and not going out for lunch or after work and shopping, yada, yada. So, we're going to see a little bit of this over the next week or two. I already sent out an email to all our subscribers and said, hey, if you don't think you'll be able to make it down, you can always pay online. We'll mail order, deliver. But
more packing.
But I haven't got any sense that like tomorrow, I don't think tomorrow is going to be dead. Now things get worse. They start having delays for FedEx and UPS shipments. Employees aren't going into work at Diamond. This starts a whole kind of,
I went to the post office today, and the lady was like almost at the wall, and not until she really had to come and take my package. She was like, I was like,
post
wow.
office was probably empty, huh? Was there anyone there?
It was, yeah.
Because the traffic there was nobody on the road today. Like, there was nobody.
Usually, it's the main post. So usually there's a line.
Yeah.
And it was the first time where I just like walked straight up.
Yeah, where I go get Starbucks once or twice a week in the morning here, there was nobody there. Like, usually there's 50 people sitting inside Starbucks. Yeah, it was empty.
Wow.
So,
I went location scouting over the weekend because I booked a new music video, and we were like in downtown San Jose, and I'm like, it's Friday night or it's Saturday night, and I'm like, there's nobody out.
Yeah,
it's really weird. I'm like, I'm smacked out downtown. I'm like, we could shoot this right now. There's nobody in the freaking video.
Like I said,
that's what I'm saying. Like, people, like guerrilla cinematographers are like probably going to take advantage of people not being out.
Dude, it was weird.
I feel we're at that point now where it'll go one way. It'll either become, people will be like, okay, well, this is just the way it is, and go back to normal, or shit gets really bad, and then it gets really bad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm obviously hoping for the former. Fortunately, this will affect. This isn't just something that affects one or two people. This will affect everyone. This will affect landlords. This will affect the distributors, the companies, everyone. It is in their best interest to make this work for everyone. Because if I go out of business, the landlord loses money, and that causes another ripple effect. That costs Diamond money. Yep. That costs money to the publishers. That goes to the creators. So floating the store, because we're at the tail end of this, right? You float the stores pay off over time. That money goes back to the companies. It goes back to the creators. These big corporations, they can float stuff a little bit easier. We're right. When you're in the trenches, it's a little bit harder.
It's one of those things where it's like we either do it now as a whole, and we work together and you do it to the best of your abilities, and kind of just that 1 week kind of just gets absorbed into the next handful of months,
6 months or whatever,
right?
Yeah.
Or,
one bad week really can hurt a business. There's already talks of layoffs at hotels and airports. That they're already like, we've lost 80% of our business. We can't afford you. So
no, that's too bad. That's
it's going to affect certain businesses more than others. I hope this is very quick, and the fears and the panic subdues fast.
I actually started researching San Diego Comic-Con hotels, not through the portal, because I don't think that's up yet.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find other means so that it's cancelable, because unless they actually cancel themselves, Comic-Con hotels are, once you're in, you're in.
But same thing. If this stuff is still going on, I think it would be almost impossible for you to not get a refund.
The companies that are like the hotels that are like, oh no, you can't cancel. They're the bad press that they would get from that due to this type of thing.
But still, if I don't have to go through the hoops, I'd rather not go through the hoops.
Yeah, and you can always
getting that money back for Emerald took me like a good 2 hours to on hold, so now I'd rather not do that again.
But you got it back.
Yeah, I got it back. Right, but once I got through, it was no problem. But I don't need to sit there for 2 hours.
Yeah, of course.
Next Twitter question.
Let's see. Where was I? God, I have a lot of Bernie tweets in my replies here. I'm gonna get back to my Twitter questions. Also from Stefano, he says, "Does San Diego Comic-Con get canceled, and how would that rattle the industry?" In relation to the other question, I think
earlier in the podcast.
Yeah. And
there's going to be a new con. That's going to be Toby Con.
Toby Con.
Yeah.
Canceling San Diego Comic Convention would do little to the industry. It would hurt the creators.
And San Diego.
And San Diego,
the city
of course,
would take a huge ding.
The comic industry would be totally fine. It costs. These companies. It's not profitable when DC goes to Comic Con. It costs them hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars at the end of it. Definitely millions of dollars. So the industry would not be hurting, I believe, like most big tech cons and conferences. They're not losing money by not having them. They're probably saving money because you don't have to send the employees. You don't have to do all the setup. Yeah, you may lose out some sales to clients, blah, 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 and it's goodwill, but I don't think it's going to hurt sales. However, if you're a Artist Alley, that's going to hurt real bad. If you're a vendor that goes to Comic-Con and you're very profitable there, that's going to hurt. The city is going to hurt. All the people, the convention employees hurts. So, So I'm saying hopefully this is quick. Let's see. You got one or two more here. Let's see. This is from Dan. He says, if you were asked to curate an exhibition or gallery of comic art, which artists' art, covers, issues, panels, or images would you include? This should be for an exhibition, not a museum, so pieces that were aesthetically significant or pleasing rather than historically notable. I've been to the Comic Art Museum a number of times, and they do a great job of having, galleries of various comic creators, their work.
Are you talking about a real gallery, or are you talking about the toilet covers over at Isotope?
No, well, that's a real gallery.
Yeah.
But they have all the it'll be either themed by creator or themed by character, and they've always done a great job. I've been to a Neil Gaiman one that was amazing.
So it's his written word?
No, it's his images from all his books. So different people. Yeah.
I got some of the I got a couple San Diego numbers from last year for revenue.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's an estimated 149 million in regional impact to San Diego.
Sure.
With a direct attendee spending of 88 million.
Yeah. No.
So
that's a lot of money. Yeah.
That's a significant ding if they cancel it.
And I mean, kind of going back to, every tourist place is going to see significant ding this year.
Yeah.
Regardless of what it is. So, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Top of my head, I couldn't tell you specifically what I would want in an exhibition, but I would just go to the Comic Art Museum where are they now? Berkeley? Because they moved. Where the hell are they now? They do such a good job. You just got to think about lining up with the creator or the character. They've done some based on movies too. So I think when Hellboy came out, hey, it's for you Hellboy ebooks. They had all the they had a ton of Mike Mignola stuff there.
That's cool.
A couple years ago. Let me take a look. Let me see where the hell is the Comic Art Museum these days.
I think I was in a Japan. A Japantown festival down in LA once, and it was by pure accident. Walked into a whole exhibit with Stan Sakai.
It's a San Francisco.
They had a bunch of art of his up and
cool,
books,
yeah.
and it was actually really well done.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, and it was totally random. I'm I didn't plan to go into that thing. I happened to walk by, and then I started walking around, and then walked into the stand thing.
Yeah, it's tough because there's endless number of pieces you could put together.
Yeah. But no,
I'd put together a gallery of every cover that homages the Justice League Kevin Maguire cover.
Let's be honest. You're gonna
That's
just
what I would
do it. No. You're gonna do what's it called? Speedball gallery. Greatest hero of all, Speedball.
Hell yes.
And then through a dark corridor.
No, he won't.
You'll go to the pennant section.
No, he won't.
And it's just an exit to the outside of the building.
Won't.
One last question from Steven. He says, what does everyone think about the CW shows post-Crisis? I don't know why, but I'm just not that interested anymore. I watch all the shows, but since Crisis, I've only watched Flash, and even that I'm behind on. Is anyone with me?
I've been behind way before the Crisis.
Well, Charlie quit cable, so you can't watch them new and now at all, ever.
CW app, man. That's how I've been watching it.
No. It doesn't work.
Yes,
that's
it
one
does.
of the ones that's nice and readily available. Thanks, Ryan.
And when the season is over on Netflix without commercials.
I'm really curious when that Netflix deal expires.
Yeah.
Because I think it's this year.
Oh, is it? Oh, I better start hurrying up and catching up then.
No, I've liked a lot of the changes post-Crisis of the stuff that I've watched, but prior to Crisis, I was very much I have to keep up on this. I have to get ready for Crisis. Even last season, there were certain shows that I waited till they hit Netflix and then just binge-watched.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was perpetually behind on Black Lightning and Legends, and then they hit Netflix and I could catch up. I'm starting to fall into that pattern again where I'm barely keeping up on the various shows, but I would not be I'm assuming I'm a couple episodes behind on some of them, but I'm not even sure because they came back for a while and then
they've had breaks.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty much caught up on. I don't watch Supergirl, so I'm pretty much caught up on all of them except for Batwoman. I'm about 2-3 episodes behind now. But at post-Crisis, it's not necessarily that it's not interesting and it's not engaging. It's just there's some subtle differences and some story threads that kind of.
I don't know.
They change it feels a little disconjointed. Like in Black Lightning, if you paid attention, the drug that they used to use or they used to have in there was green light. Right, was the drug that they were that was making everyone metas. They switch it to glimmer.
So
it's this.
To me, it's not even the disjointed nature of it. It's just we just had a big event. There needs to be a certain amount of sort of decompression.
Yeah,
I kind of feel that way in comic books too.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
when you're coming out of a huge Batman event, typically they're smart enough to go, no, let's just do a slower paced Batman story.
Well, what's funny is I think the best show that I've enjoyed post Crisis is DC Legends, just because it's out there and it's fun and they just go and do whatever, right? Like they have fun with that show.
I don't know. I know you don't watch Supergirl, but for me, I think Supergirl's leaned into it the best.
Leaned into the crisis, post-crisis.
Because you kind of had the change they already revealed at the end of it with the Lex, and then Wynn came back for a few episodes and stuff like that. It's just, it had a more significant impact in some ways. Therefore, exploring post-crisis has been
a little more interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still watching them. I'm almost never current on them. I'm always an episode or two back. But I like the Batwoman arc with the leftover
the sister.
That was a fun little twist.
Over within like a few episodes.
Yeah, but it was a cool little.
Yeah,
cool little
I
arc.
think I'm in the second episode.
Yeah, I'm like one or two back on all the shows. But no, I mean, I'll keep watching them.
And you're going to add Stargirl to the list.
And I'm going to add Stargirl to the list. I mean, I'm in, baby. Like, look at it. We'll go back to what would get you to stop watching these. Them being over at this point. I'm 35 seasons in. I think I can keep going.
So about that Batmobile, you're in, right?
Oh, of course. Sure, of course. Look. May not be my first choice. Maybe actually my last choice. But, I mean, if it's a choice of the Batmobile or, not the Batmobile, of course I'm going to go with the Batmobile.
I'm already sitting here going, I can't wait till after the movie comes out and we talk about the Batmobile. Something tells me...
I'm very excited for after the movie as well. I just hope the end of the movie is...
I always find it funny.
I don't think Charlie gets it. I don't think Charlie...
we obsess too much about these early details.
For about 4 years, we've been obsessing about this movie, and I'm just so ready for this movie to be over. And just, I mean, at least once it's over, we'll know. I'm hoping the ending is good.
It's going to be a 4-hour podcast.
But I don't think Toby gets it either, but that's okay. It's really funny. It's funny to me either way. I mean, sometimes you get the Batmobile you want, sometimes you don't. But
you get the Batmobile you deserve.
It's still the Batmobile, so, you get to vote on it over the, let's say, orange dumpster fire. That's better. Batmobile's better than an orange dumpster fire, isn't it? I mean, maybe not the best Batmobile, but, it's still a Batmobile.
You'll take that bat emblem over the orange dumpster fire.
Oh, sure, of course. And now Charlie gets it. I think Charlie's finally tuning in. Okay, there we go.
Speaking of movies that we're going to get over, I get to... I'm taking on the task and the job of watching Bloodshot this weekend for you guys.
Can't wait. You're going to be the only one. Because of coronavirus or not, you'll be the only one in the theater. So Toby's going to see you there.
You going to go see it?
Yeah. I was surprised they even pushed back Bond because of the virus.
That seems super weird. That felt just like a reason to push it back. Yeah, I think they pushed it back for other reasons. I actually saw my very first trailer for Bloodshot. It was on TV.
They're pushing it a lot.
It's good.
It's a lot.
I mean, I'm not saying the trailer is good. I'm saying
it's a lot of trailers.
It's good that they're pushing it. They should.
They're pushing the fuck out of it.
It looks okay. Actually, yeah. I'm hoping
it's not a real Fast and Furious movie.
I mean, depending on tomorrow, how tomorrow goes, I may even see it Thursday night.
Nice.
Yeah. None of you care.
No. Go see it Thursday.
I don't see myself.
Are you guys
going
excited
to
for
the
my
theater
review of
now.
it next week?
No.
Sure.
So that's a fucking no from you?
No. Not excited.
As long as you can tell us how sticky the floors were.
Okay. I'll make sure to let you know.
I'm sure you'll have your pick of seats. So, All right, that's it. That's a podcast. Let's
I don't
get
know
the hell
if
out
it's
of
a date
here.
on the theater or the movie.
We'll hear Brock's review of Bloodshot next week, assuming the theaters are open. If you are on
They're in Santa
Patreon,
Clara County.
sorry, if you could join Patreon and support us over there at patreon.com/Comic Conspiracy. Our high tier backers for this month would be Joe Duff, Andrew Nelson Mendez. He's at Recovery of an Anime Junkie podcast. Please go listen to his podcast. Craig Anderson's at craigpanderson.com. If you want a little life coaching going on, check out Craig Anderson. He'll help you out. Help you be a better professional. Jimmy Rivera has the Social Forum podcast talking about relationship, work, and the happy hours. That's the Social Forum, FOURUM.buzzsprout.com. James Laws, congratulations. Good luck on the con this weekend. Hope you do well. And Hellboy _ebooks on Twitter. That's our friend Mr. Rama. Big Hellboy fan. Loves everything Hellboy. Loves everything Mike Mignola. Mm-hmm. Please follow all of them, and thank you for your continued support of the Comic Conspiracy Podcast. If you go to comicconspiracypodcast.com, geekbox.net, Apple Podcast, and Spotify, you can find all our previous episodes. Rating and reviewing us helps, so we're told. So do that if you can.
Yep.
YouTube.com/comicsconspiracy is where you can find our audio episodes on YouTube. If that's just the way you want to listen to it, it's there as well.
Our audio dramas.
Nope, just this podcast on YouTube.
What if we did audio dramas? Like a Wolverine noir thing?
Yeah, she Wolverine.
He's not even here to enjoy it. That's the best part.
We'll figure it out. The Comic Conspiracy at geekbox.net is where you can send your emails. We'll get to those one day. Now, comicsconspiracy.biz, that is our storefront, our digital storefront for our physical comic books that we sell in store. We are doing a massive inventory this weekend. So while the site will be up, the inventory will not be there. It'll go back up through the weekend. For your new comics for Wednesday, they're all on there. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm assuming it's going to take us all weekend. The inventory will be mostly offline. However, everything will be coming back online. My hope is by Monday we'll have everything back up at the shop.
So if you want to order stuff, make sure to do it by tomorrow evening.
Yep. With the coronavirus, make sure you pre-order all your comic books and buy them before the zombie apocalypse happens and you can no longer get mail delivered to your house.
But I got toilet paper to throw up.
Comicsconspiracy.biz. We'll throw in a free roll of toilet paper with every $1,000 purchase. ConspiratorBrock.com. That's Brock's blog, video pull list, and unboxing videos. You can go over there and check out his work. Charlie has the Wanderers in the Fourth Dimension podcast, and if I'm not mistaken, you guys are done.
We are done.
Charlie says they are done. They've recorded their final episode
of the season.
And now we don't know what's going on. We'll have to wait. They have to.
Caught up, so we're switching to
Okay, so you're going to do one episode a month?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, well, the Wanderers keep wandering. That fourth dimension never ends.
You're not going to do all the audio ones?
There will be some audio on there.
Ooh.
LeanneHale.com, that's my wife's website. You can go on there and see her artwork. She also has stuff available for purchase over at Etsy.com/shop/LeanneHaleArt. And also, that's all available here at our store as well. If you're on Twitter, you can follow all of us. I am Ryan Higgins Ryan. Brock is Brock Sager. Toby is Toby XI. Charlie is Insanity in Chaos. The store is ComicsCon Store. And check out Geekbox and Manga Machinations for other stuff. We did Geekbox last night. I talked about what we were going to talk about on the podcast tonight. And I know that. Oh, we talked about it on Geekbox last night. Oh, they were going on about stuff that I didn't know anything about for a while. So, that's right. I was also talking to the Comic Cup guys doing some work on the side while we were recording. So I was a little distracted during the majority of the podcast
were
last
you
night.
Even on?
I was. Yes, I was. I was
on.
I was for a big chunk.
You were
of it.
there in spirit, I guess.
And no, Ryan Scott, I haven't started watching the season of Better Call Saul. I'm going to. We're catching up with Kidding. I have other stuff to watch. We'll get to it, though. We'll get to it. All right. Thank you all very much for listening to this episode. We'll be back next week.